Good afternoon. Looting and violence is continuing in parts of Johannesburg and Pretoria today. Evidence of criminal activity is evident in many parts of the province this hour following the looting and burning of shops. I want to bring in three reporters now. Masego Ratlaga is in the Johannesburg CBD. Slindelo Masekane is in Alex, north of Johannesburg. And Aviwe Mtila has the latest from Pretoria. Let's start with Masego Ratlaga. Masego, position yourself for us, and what are you seeing?
Well, Jeremy, we are at the moment outside the Jeppes police station because this is where the Premier is said to be coming through with the Minister of Police, Bheki Cele. They're expected to be briefed by the police inside the police station about, for instance, how many people they've arrested, how the investigations are going with that man who was unfortunately murdered yesterday during that crossfire, and all other information that have to do with what's been happening in Jeppes town since Sunday evening. Earlier we were with Mayor Herman Mashaba. He was walking around asking some of the shop owners what it is that happened, and one foreign-owned shop owner, Jeremy, telling the mayor what was very interesting is that he said that he was worried that he saw on social media that there were messages doing the rounds on social media, including Twitter and Facebook, with South Africans, he says, warning that there will be some violence in Jeppes town soon. And he was asking the mayor, I mean, if there is such warnings doing the rounds on social media, where was the South African intelligence to make sure that whenever any criminalities begins to happen, the police are already there to start pouncing? What we also found out from most of the people who were looted, Jeremy, is that although the police were there shooting rubber bullets, they actually didn't do much to assist them when the looting and the burning started to happen. So very quiet in Jeppes town this morning. It's more of a cleanup, community members from whichever corners of the continent helping each other to get the rubble off of the main road, and basically helping the shop owners clean up, and the police helping the foreign shop owners to be able to leave the area with whatever actually that they have left. So that's what we're seeing in Jeppes town, and we're expecting in about an hour's time both the Minister and the Premier to come here and address us and tell us the way forward. We will take that live as soon as that happens. Masego Ratlaga in the Johannesburg CBD. Now let me take you north to Alexandra, where police have fired rubber bullets and stun grenades earlier to disperse a large crowd of looters. Reporter Slindelo Masekane is there. Slindelo, good afternoon to you. What happened?
Basically, we were having pockets of people trying to loot, essentially in front of police presence, but the police are definitely having none of it. We are in the central business district of Alexandra, popularly known as Pan, and a number of shops have been destroyed, set alight and looted. We understand that the number at the moment sits at around 47, but we also understand from my sources in and around Alexandra that it seems that it's spreading into within shops within Alexandra, such as 4th and 5th Street in Selborne. And I also understand that some shops on Louis Botha, the main road just adjacent to Alexandra, shops there have also been closed. It seems that the looting is spreading. But right now the situation seems relatively calm, but the business district of Alexandra is basically on lockdown. Taxis are not moving, and if I just ask my colleague Teddy to just give you a pan to my left, just to give you a picture of what we're seeing at the moment, it's total destruction. A lot of the older shops, not only owned by foreign nationals, but locals as well, have been destroyed. If you see in the distance, we have a liquor store. The owner is trying to see if there's anything he can salvage, but in most of these shops, there's absolutely nothing. We also understand that at least 7 people have been arrested for the violence here in Alexandra, with more arrests expected.
Have you had an opportunity to engage with some of those foreign shop owners?
I definitely have, Jeremy. In fact, a lot of them are distraught. A lot of them feel as though they are being targeted and attacked, and they don't understand why, because many of them say that they've come to South Africa not only to seek refuge, but they're here to make a living and to support themselves. A lot of the shop owners that have had their shops surviving this looting are basically trying to get any of the goods out of the area. I spoke to one of those shop owners from Ethiopia. Let's just take a listen to what he had to say.
The government is supposed to protect us. As you see, all foreigners are not criminals. Yeah, we believe there are few criminals, but that is, they are not supposed to include all of us with criminality. So some of us, we are just surviving. We are doing small businesses to survive. So they just punish us with no reason. Yeah, so at the moment, we don't know what the cause of this looting. This is just criminality. Yeah.
All right, Slindelo Masakane, we'll stand you down for the moment. Back to you a bit later. So what do we know at this time? The Johannesburg CBD is quiet at this time, essentially a mopping up operation after a day of violence. You've just heard in Alex, north of Johannesburg, business owners not operating. The central business district of Alex is in virtual lockdown. There is a police presence there. What is the situation now in Pretoria? Let me bring in reporter Aviwe Mtila. Aviwe, good afternoon to you. Again, what's the situation that you're seeing? Describe it for me.
Jeremy, I'm just struggling to hear you properly, but the police here have given the taxi drivers an ultimatum to disperse within 5 minutes, or else face the full wrath of the law. In fact, they did get some resistance from a number of taxi drivers, but others pleaded with the taxi drivers, saying that all they want at this stage are answers to what led to last week's violence. Of course, that was the shooting of Jabu Baloyi, one of the taxi drivers. They want answers as to whether they were shot by the police themselves or by the Nigerian foreign nationals. And the police have promised them to come back with that answer by Friday, but now have just pleaded with them to just go back to work. And it seems like they are adhering to what the police have asked so far, with them just driving their taxis out one by one. But I can say that on the there are a number of taxi drivers, so we're not quite sure whether they're fully adhering to that ultimatum that by the police. I heard the police in a caucus that they had just a few minutes ago saying that stood in the way of. So we're uncertain whether the protests here will continue or whether the taxi drivers will in fact adhere to the police and wait for feedback on Friday.